compact sedan and the regular Elantra is just not cutting it, let me tell you, you can save $10,000 by not getting the Elantra N and instead getting the N-Line Ultimate. In today's video, we're doing a full live-streamed walkthrough of everything you get on the highest trim level of the Hyundai Elantra without stepping into the $40,000 plus range of Hyundai N territory. Now, this particular vehicle will give you an enhanced turbocharged powertrain, a new suspension, as well as a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, and a whole lot of extra sporty extras. So we're going to take a full walkthrough starting off with the exterior, then we'll head over to the powertrain, hop in the inside, talk our interior specs as well as our tech, and then answer some questions. This is, again, a live stream video, so we're doing this in real time with no script, and that also leaves it up for discussion. So if you're watching this as we're recording, please leave a comment or a question in our live chat box to let us know what you would like to know and any questions you may have. Without further ado, let's get right into it. I'm going to start right off with the MSRP, which is $31,699 Canadian. If you're curious about the exterior paint color, it's called Atlas White, and it's actually a no-charge paint. So if you don't want to spend an extra $250, get the white. It makes the black accents stand out quite a bit. Now Adam's going to take control of the camera. We'll flip it over and start off with our front end. I will say, as far as the Elantra styling goes, this might be my favorite because number one, it does give you the enhanced sporty look, but it's not quite as bold or as flashy as the full-on N. What I mean by that is you'll notice there's no red lip on this car. Instead, it goes for a more subtle gray or metal element along the bottom. So your lower lip line has a little bit of contrast, but it's not too bold or in your face. As far as your bumper goes, you'll get a lot of gloss black, so some nice shine and high contrast when paired with a bright white paint. I will admit we didn't have a full detail today, you guys, so if you look too close, you might notice some rail dust spots. We'll have a video dropping on that very, very soon. If you've ever gotten new cars, especially in a white paint, and wondered why your new vehicle has rust, I'll explain why on our Sunday video. Now I'm forced to film that video. For our headlamps, we'll get full LEDs. That's going to be for your projector lamps, your daytime running lights, and of course, your low and high beams. So bright white lights, LEDs are going to last a whole lot longer than traditional bulbs, and of course, they're more modern, something you'd expect on your vehicle. You do have intelligent high beam assist, meaning that when you turn on your auto high beams and your vehicle senses another car coming, it'll automatically shut them off until it's safe to get them back on again. It doesn't just work with opposing traffic, it'll also work for sufficient light around you. So if you're driving on the countryside where it's very dark and then you drive into the city, it'll automatically shut off too. It's a pretty smart car. In terms of advanced safety, we have a radar plate in the very center of your vehicle that monitors the distance of your car and the car ahead of you. So you have smart cruise control with stop and go, but also highway driving assist, which essentially builds off of that smart cruise control to also know the speed limit of the highway that you're on and if there's any bends in the road. It'll always make sure you're at a safe distance from the car ahead of you and slow you down if you hit stop and go traffic, but it'll also keep you centered in your lane and adjust your speed based off the speed limit. If you don't like the speed limit adjustment, you can shut it off. I'll let you guys know that right off the bat. Your Hyundai emblem is a nice brushed aluminum, so lighter contrast. And to match that, we have a pipeline all the way across our front end too. I don't know why I said pipeline. Accent line all the way across our front end, with some nice subtle character lines along your hood. Very, very wide styling for the Hyundai Elantra, and a lot of that is because we have a ton of horizontal elements on the front end. There's been a lot of talk about what the 2026 model will look like and if we'll have a full redesign. Now, I will admit, we are based in Ontario, Canada, and this YouTube channel is backed by 2 dealerships. So we're not just YouTubers that review cars, we do have both a Kia and a Hyundai store. I haven't gotten any official documentations for the new or refreshed model of the Elantra, so we'll just have to wait and see. If that's not a sign to subscribe, I don't know what is. As soon as we get one or as soon as we get information, we will definitely film a video. Now, with that being said, let's talk about what we have because it's still a really good car. For your powertrain, this is the only trim level of the Hyundai Elantra that has a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. So the fuel delivery system is gasoline direct injection, and it provides you with 201 horsepower with 195 pound-feet of torque. Fun fact about this car, it used to go head-to-head with the Kia Forte. Same vehicle, same engine, same transmission, and same performance numbers. However, for 2025, Kia actually got rid of the Kia Forte and replaced it with the Kia K4. Now the K4, although it's built on the same platform as the Elantra and uses the same engine, it no longer shares the same transmission and the performance numbers have dropped. So this beats the Kia K4 now on paper. So 201 horsepower with 195 pound-feet of torque is again what you get with this power plant. And one of the funnest or most impressive things about it for me is the transmission. It uses a 7-speed dry-type dual-clutch transmission with paddle shifters. If you're not familiar with dual clutches, essentially you got 2 clutches. Don't worry though, there's no clutch pedal. It's still an automatic in that sense. And one's going to handle your odd gears like gear 1, gear 3, gear 5, and gear 7, while the other handles gear 2, 4, and 6. Essentially, when one gear is on, the next one is locked and loaded, ready to go. So your gear shifts are lightning quick and very engaging. Some people may say it feels a little bit shuddery or different, and that's because it is different. It's not a regular automatic like what we get in the Kia K4. So if you are someone who enjoys a more engaging and sporty drive, I think the dual clutch on the Elantra is still something that's very fun, and it's really the last car that has it as far as the Kia and Hyundai lineup comparison. So it's the last of its kind. I don't think the next gen Elantra will have the dual clutch anymore. Obviously the full-on N will, but not the N-Line. For wheels, we get a specialized design. Oh, I got a cough. This is an 18-inch alloy with a beautiful, I don't want to say full-on black, it's more of a dark gunmetal finish. It has a dedicated N badge in the very center, and oh boy, I think this is probably one of Hyundai's best wheel designs in my opinion. I'm usually not a fan of an all-black wheel, but because this is technically gunmetal, it passes for me, and it passes very well. You do get larger disc brakes up at the front. They're ventilated disc brakes with solid discs in the rear, as well as a multi-link sport-tuned rear suspension. I don't know if I mentioned the N-Line accents we had on our front bumper, so I'll have Adam go and take a look at that again. There's very subtle cues of sporty styling on this vehicle, and again, that separates it from the full N. There's not a ton of red, there's not a ton of flashy bits. There's just those small, subtle cues that really do make a difference. Right, and then right back to our center cap on the wheel. We have our another N badge, and then we also have one on our fender flare, right over here. So not too much going on, but it's tasteful where it is happening. Speaking of tasteful where it's happening, our mirrors. So they are black. That translates very nicely, of course, on a white for the contrast, but even if you are getting the red paint or any other option, it still looks good. We do have a turn signal indicator, and this vehicle is equipped with blind spot detection, as well as blind spot collision avoidance assistance, forward collision avoidance assistance, and lane keep and lane follow assist. Your pillars will also be finished in gloss black to match your mirrors, and same thing with the belt line of the car. So there's not a lot of mixed materials, everything flows very nicely. As far as convenience goes, we do have proximity entry. It's the buttonless style, so as long as the key is somewhere on you, you'll simply reach for the door handle. It'll unlock for you, and then you can hop in and start your car because it is a push-to-start ignition. So you don't have to dig for your keys. If you put them in your bag or put them in your pocket on your first layer and you're wearing 5 other layers on top, you don't have to shuffle for it each time. It's nice and easy to get into your car. Because why should it be hard? The lower skirt of the vehicle, side skirts, are also finished in gloss black. So what's dark on the top is also dark on the bottom, and everything flows very nicely. I'm just going to quickly highlight something that I really appreciate, and that is along our rear diffuser and rear bumper, we have a nice touch of gloss black with a little bit of that metal accent, that almost brushed aluminum finish. The black again translates to the side skirt of the car and then wraps around all the way to the front where we have that lighter metal contrast and then the gloss black again. So everything is a full wraparound on this car, and I think it just ties it in very nicely. Give the camera back to Adam, and let's check out the trunk and the tail lamps. So on the Elantra N-Line is where we get introduced to full LED taillights. Adam, you had a question?
What are those blue things on the side?
Oh, so this vehicle literally just arrived. It still has all of its shipping equipment on it, and when we first got it, it was covered in plastic too. We left these on. They're just door bumpers. It's very handy, I guess, when the car goes in for PDI so it doesn't hit anything like the lift, but it's just a protection buffer.
A lot of customers leave them on as well, though, right?
No, not really. Really. All right, I don't know if you could hear Adam when he asked the questions, but he asked if customers leave that on. I mean, you could, but most people don't. They usually get off in detail. All right, the N-Line introduces a beautiful black lip spoiler, which again, in my opinion, looks fantastic on white paint just because of the contrast. The taillight housing itself also has a ton of gloss black surrounding it with LED taillights for maximum brightness and a modern flare. The center, you'll have your brushed aluminum Hyundai badge, your rear view camera, and then just below our liftgate release. So press it and it opens up the hatch. It's hydraulic, so very easy to lift. And then we have a ton of usable cargo space. Of course, with sedans, it's not going to be as height accessible as an SUV, and you probably already knew that going into it. With that being said, don't let the look on camera fool you because everything is lined in black felt. It's actually quite spacious. To knock your rear seats down, you have two levers. So for the left-hand side and the right-hand side, they go in a 60-40 split, with the 40 being on the left, the 60 being on the right. Underneath the floorboard, you'll have a temporary mobility kit. So this is essentially an inflator and a sealant. If you get a leak in your tire from a screw or damage from whatever, it'll reinflate and seal the puncture. Now, if you experience a full blowout, this may not necessarily help you at all, but you do have 5 years unlimited kilometers of roadside assistance with your new Hyundai purchase. And there is room there for a spare tire should you choose to put one there. It's not going to take up your cargo space because there is a gully meant for a spare. For your diffuser and your rear bumper, again, lots of that gloss dark black. The diffuser itself has a little bit of thinning. And then on the right-hand side, or passenger side, is where we'll see our twin-tip single-sided exhaust. It's got a chrome finish, and I will say I think this looks stunning, and I'm very happy we have a visible exhaust on this car because its sister vehicle, or closest competitor, the Kia K4, has no exhaust in sight. It's downward facing, and while it's got a little bit of a diffuser, you don't see the exhaust at all. What's the point of a really cool diffuser if you can't see the exhaust? That's what I always say. Anyway, let's take a look inside the vehicle because the interior is quite fun. It's got a lot of sporty elements, but it's not as hardcore or as stiff as the Elantra N. So if you test drove the Elantra N and love the power, but thought to yourself, this isn't going to be comfortable every single day, this car solves it. Adam will take a quick peek inside before I hop in. You'll see we have a black leatherette seat with red stitching. While there is certainly some sport bolstering on the car, it's not as stiff as the Elantra N seat, so it's more forgiving for everyday driving, but still supportive if you are doing something a little bit more spirited. On the upper seat back, you'll see an N badge for some nice trim level flair, and then the driver's seat itself is powered. Just going to quickly hop in. I really do love the seat on this car. And one thing I will say that they did a great job with was making the cabin very dark and very sport themed, but in a good way. It's very moody. So your headliner is also black, and when your sunroof is closed, it's dark, it's mysterious, it's fun. But open it up and you get a good amount of light in. It doesn't feel very claustrophobic. That being said, this vehicle is built on a fairly large platform, so it kind of does push the boundaries of compact. It's actually got leading class rear legroom in the back, so it doesn't feel confined. You'll still feel really comfortable in this car even if you are a taller driver. For your seats, like I mentioned, they are powered, so easy to adjust. You got lumbar support with 2 ways, and the seats are heated with 3 different levels. For your steering wheel, it's a sport style wheel with red stitching. And our steering wheel mounted paddle shifters, I'll show you guys in a second. But first, let's take a look at the stitching. This steering wheel itself is heated, like I mentioned, and it gets very nice and warm. You'll get an N badge on the very bottom and a little bit more of that gunmetal finish along the spokes. For your paddles, they're again finished in gunmetal, almost black, and you can upshift or downshift at your leisure. If you don't want to use the paddles, though, you can use the actual gear lever because we have a traditional style. Now, what I mean by upshifting or downshifting your automatic car is, well, exactly how it sounds. If you'd like, you can put it in drive, tip it over to the left, and then upshift or downshift. This will, of course, just manually manipulate your dual clutch transmission. By putting the vehicle in accessory mode, we can take a look at our gauge cluster. This is a 10.25 inch fully digitized display. You can change what's viewed by pressing this button on your steering wheel and cycle between things like your lane assist, your current trip, navigation, and then your TPMS. If you don't like the look of the gauge cluster at its defaults, you can customize it in your settings. However, from factory, anytime you adjust the drive mode of your vehicle, it'll cycle between its different themes too. So sport mode looks a little bit more fun. It's got a carbon fiber background and a lot more red accents. And then Smart and Normal mode are the same really. But if you'd like the Sport gauge to be available on all drive modes, you can adjust that to your liking. Now the right-hand side of the steering wheel has your Smart Cruise Control, which automatically translates to Highway Drive Assist if you're on a highway. You can set your following distance with this bottom right button, turn on or off your lane following assist here, and then this OK with the arrows cycles between your menus here. So you press the notepad to go to the next menu, and then if there's multiple views on this page, the up and the down arrow is how you'll scroll through them. The left-hand side of the wheel, you again have your drive mode select, which you just press like a button, and then your brightness adjustment and traction control. The sound system in this vehicle is a Bose premium sound system. And then, of course, on the door card, it's okay, Adam, we've got our lock and unlock, our mirror controls, and then our power windows. For the windows, only the driver's window is an express. An express window pretty much means if you cycle up, it goes all the way up. If you press down, it goes all the way down, unless you press it again to stop it at any point. Again, black headliner, power sunroof, and it's a standard size sunroof. For your main screen over here, it's 10.25 inch in display. It's got built-in navigation and Sirius XM as well as HD radio. If you'd like, you can use wired Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And with that being said, wired is not a bad thing. I know a lot of people are like, where's the wireless? I want the wireless. In my opinion, and I had a car with this exact same software, wired will charge your phone faster and establish a better connection. If you are someone who really appreciates good quality audio, I do find that the wired CarPlay does a better job at keeping things a little bit more high quality. Also, if you frequently shuffle between songs, there'll be less of a delay between that. So, in my opinion, I like it more. Also, if for whatever reason you hop into your car and you don't want to use CarPlay that day, it's a little bit easier to just not plug in your phone than to disconnect your phone entirely by using either your vehicle's settings menu or your phone settings menu. That's just my opinion, but let me know what you guys think. Back to the head unit itself, like I said, it's got integrated navigation. So this is Hyundai's in-brand nav or in-house nav. You can also use it from your phone if that's your preference. Things like valet mode and also quiet mode that mutes the speakers in the back. There's a touch of ambient lighting running across the dash that you can customize the color to your set liking. And here you'll find your hazard lights, your push start ignition, and then all these buttons here that do exactly as they say. If I were to press map, it'll jump me right to my map. Setup will take me to my setup menu. So it's good to have just your default buttons. Below that, we got our climate control. So dual zone, driver and passenger can have separate temps, heated seats, heated steering wheel, and then our fan controls, as well as the directions. For here, we got our front and rear defrost. A little pad there for wireless charging. This part's always hard to film on the Elantra, but maybe we can peek a little bit. There we go. So wireless charge pad, a 12-volt inverter, a regular USB for CarPlay and Android Auto, and then a USB-C for charging. Down by our gear shift, we got our park view camera, which if you press will show you exactly what's behind you as long as you're stopped. Anytime you throw the car in reverse though, that comes up automatically. Electronic parking brake, our auto hold braking function, and a little bit of piano black around your cup holders. I'm happy it's a little bit because piano black can be a pain in the butt to clean. This is our great wall, our barrier between the driver and passenger, because this is a true driver's car. Now, some other vehicles that have a similar barrier include the C7, the C8, Corvette that is. So I'm not saying this is a more affordable way to get into the Corvette lifestyle, but if the shoe fits, it might be a New Balance. Anyway, sorry, that was a really bad dad joke. All right, so hopping out, we'll do a quick showcase of the passenger seats, and then I will also show you guys the sunroof too. So just a standard size power sunroof. You can open it all the way or have it in its tilted method where it's just kind of a little vent. All right, let's walk over to the passenger seat, then we'll hop in the rear and answer some questions too. If you guys would like me to go over the performance specs again, I most certainly can. Basically, this car is a little bit more on the sporty side than the Kia K4 equivalent, even though they are sister vehicles. This one's gonna feel a little bit more spirited, a bit more responsive. All right, so this seat is a manual seat. You can adjust the backrest, and that's it. Well, I mean, other than moving it on its rail. There is a small pocket on the other side of our great wall here. When Charlotte and I used to do the interiors together, we would always make the same joke, and because I miss her dearly, I saw someone ask about Charlotte, I'm gonna do it again. Let's say I'm driving. Hey, Gabby, can you turn on my heated seat? Or can I turn on my heated seat? Sure, go ahead. There we go, nice and warm. No, you can go over it. We just like to make that joke. Anyway, it's actually it's not weird at all. We just make it weird. Okay, let me hop into the rear seats. And like I said, this is leading class rear legroom, not class leading, if there's even a difference. Basically, the Kia K4 and the Elantra are tied in rear space because they're built on the same platform. So one's not better than the other in terms of space, but maybe in terms of your preference. Let me know which you guys like more. So the two main seats are very wide. They're also extremely comfortable. In terms of styling back here, we still have the red stitching that we had up at the front, and the leather is perforated too. So feels good, looks good. What else could you ask for? And it's also spacious. Now, I don't have the driver's seat all the way up, believe it or not, and I've got a ton of leg room, so my knees are very far from the backing of the seat ahead of me. There's also space for me to put my feet underneath, and we have rear heat ducts. You may notice that there's no vents here, but you still get a little bit of warmth or air to channel through. In the backing of the center console, you'll have two USB-Cs for faster charging, and then a mesh net pocket behind the passenger seat. If your rear passengers would like, you can drop down the middle and have a cup holder or armrest. Sorry, two cup holders or two armrests. And then the two main seats also have car seat anchors and tethers. I think that's about it for a walkthrough of this vehicle. Wait, I'll show you one more thing. Lights on the inside, they're regular bulbs, but everything on the outside is an LED. All right, let's see what you guys have to say about this car. And spoiler alert, at 2:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're planning on comparing this particular vehicle, this exact vehicle, to the Kia K4 GT Line Turbo Limited, which is right outside over there. Thank you, Adam. It's that blue one right there. Yeah, there we go. And it's considered, I guess, the top of the line in the Kia K4 segment. And this is the top of the line in the Hyundai Elantra segment, if we're not counting the N, because that is kind of a separate car on its own. So we're going to do a battle of the compacts. Compare the compacts, compact competition, whatever you guys, give me title ideas for the video. That's what I'm asking for. Let's answer some questions though and see what you guys think so far of the Elantra N-Line. Is it still something that you'd consider purchasing, or are you waiting for the redesigned model? Okay, and I mentioned it earlier in this video, but I'll say it again in case anyone joined later. I do not have any confirmed news on the redesigned Elantra. There's nothing confirmed for us. And believe me when I say that, we are a dealership, so anytime there's something internal, we do see it. But I have not seen any of it. I'm not lying to you guys. I'm not withholding information. I just don't know. I don't know yet. DT said, does this mean a second video? Woohoo! Yes. So there's been 2 days where we couldn't do a live stream today, so I'm making it up to you guys by doing a double live. Compact combat. Yes, we could do that. How many ducks can you fit in the glove box? I think this is a great way to business expense ducklings to the dealership. I'm going to pitch that to Pat, and I'll get back to you guys. If you see me come to work next week with a bunch of ducklings, just know we made it happen. Just do it every day. Maintain. Physical activity is good for you. What, doing 2 live streams? I could totally do 2 live streams a day. Well, I can't exactly commit to that. With that being said, there's a reason why we didn't do a live stream yesterday, and that's because we were delivering a car to a customer. So sometimes things do happen at our dealership that require us to be there. And the person I delivered a car for is actually one of our viewers who may be on right now. If you guys recognize the name Bulletin Blair, well, we drove 2 hours up north to go deliver him his brand new Kia Niro. And there will be a video being posted on it on Saturday. But the same is true if a customer walks in and all our sales guys are busy. I'm going to go help them. I'm going to go see our in-person customer, and unfortunately sometimes we have to postpone our live streams. What's up, Adam?
A lot of people are talking about the console divider. Do you know if you could remove it maybe?
You can't remove it. Well, I mean, I guess you could if you really wanted to, but it's not an easy removal. Also, where did you get your top, Gabby? I think I got this from H&M about a year ago. I don't break it out that often, only when I'm feeling a little crazy. Any news on the Kia pickup? Nothing confirmed. All I know is that we're definitely not getting the Tasman. The Tasman is for other markets, so we will not get a diesel Kia truck here, unfortunately. Canada actually doesn't get any new diesels unless it's a heavy-duty truck. So no diesel cars, no diesel SUVs. Basically, if it's more than a 3/4 ton truck, then you get a diesel, but nothing else. How many cars has Blair bought? Blair has gotten 2 cars from us. Oh, I just crossed out. I saw a question asking about how the sport tuned suspension compares. I don't know what they asked.
I can finish reading.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I found it. To the full Elantra N's electronically controlled suspension for daily driving comfort. This one is going to be a little bit more comfortable for sure. So one thing about the Elantra N is it's a ton of fun. But if you are going to be driving it every single day to and from your office job, and maybe you have a bad back, it's going to catch up to you after a little while. So it's something you have to be kind of all in for. That being said, you can adjust the stiffness of the suspension a bit because it is electronically controlled, but even at its softest, it's still going to be a little hardcore. This is going to be more forgiving. While it is fun in corners, it still handles day-to-day driving nicely. So it's not too hardcore or stiff. Does the Elantra come in a fun color? So the fun, you guys are going to think I'm boring. The funnest color is the Amazon gray to me, and that's because it's a grayish green. In the sunlight, it has that beautiful green tinge to it, but on a cloudy day like today, it looks fairly gray. I'm not really a color car person, so that's my opinion to the most fun. Are you permitted to say which vehicle Blair purchased? I mean, there's going to be a video on it soon, so why not? He got a Kia Niro EV Wave in steel gray. The N-Line used to have that funky green color in 2024. Yes, they absolutely did. That was a very fun green color. I think we only had one of them, and I don't know if we ever got to film it, but it was an interesting color for sure. There's a close color called Ocado Green on the Santa Fe, but I think it suited the Elantra a little bit better. Blair's on. Hey, Blair. Are you watching from your new car? Parked? Let's see what else. Jerry said the only thing I dislike in my Elantra N is the middle console wall. Yep. So I will admit, as a driver, it really doesn't get in the way, but sometimes it can feel a little bit weird as a passenger, just having that barrier in between. But it is pretty cool. Zoe asked if I'm feeling okay, sound under the weather. I'm okay, but I'm not. It's okay. I'm not like sick, but I also haven't been feeling great. I should have live streamed from Blair's house. I know, I should have. All right, we are at 27 minutes. Someone said sleep all day, Saturday and Sunday. Saturday's my birthday, so I don't think I will be sleeping in. Sunday, maybe. We'll see how Saturday night goes. Blair said yes, it's his first EV. So this is so exciting for Blair. First electric vehicle. I was not first Kia vehicle, but also first, I don't know, a different vehicle. This one's got a lot of tech, more than what the Kia Soli had before was. So there's a lot going on in the car. Blair, have you used Kia Connect yet, other than the panic button? He did text me yesterday saying, I found out what the horn and lights button does on Kia Connect. It's the panic button. Let's see. Happy early birthday. October is a great month. Thank you. October is a beautiful month. My birthday is still in September, nearing the end, but October is pretty cool. Both my parents have an October birthday, actually the day after each other. Panic, yes. So it's definitely going to be a big learning curve. I told Blair, don't worry, we've done a video on that. I just gave him the keys and left. I'm kidding you guys. We have a little bit of the delivery process shown on the video that'll be posted this weekend. So if you guys ever want to know what it's like to buy a car from here, or what it's like to get a car delivered to you, that video might answer some questions. It's also really funny to watch. Now, other than that, I think we'll end off today's live stream. If you guys want to see this vehicle and how it compares to the Kia K4, stick around because in 15-ish minutes, we'll be doing exactly that. Till then, take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you next time.